Hey, what's up, Intigriti fam? We're back with Hacker Heroes. And in today's episode, number 10, we're talking to Flo from the Vlist. And Flo is currently skyrocketing in our leaderboard. Looking at our last 90 days leaderboard, he's ranked 3rd. And with that, he has a ton of information to share with you. So let's go jump into the interview and let's hear him out. Hi, Flo. Thank you very much for being on the show with us today. How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I hope you're doing great too.
Oh yeah, I do. Thanks for asking. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Who's Flo from the Vlist?
Yes, I'm Flo. I'm 20 years old. I'm studying computer science at the Utrecht University in the Netherlands. I do bug bounty when I have some spare time, and I like to do some sports like running, cycling, and also hanging out with friends in the weekends. So I think that's about it.
Sweet. How did you get into IT security? Was it during the course that you're studying right now?
No, I don't think so. I came across a video of Stuck once. It was about 2 years ago, I think, and it was a vlog about the a live hacking event, and that really interested me. I did some research about what is bug bounty hunting and how does it all work. And I think from that point I started doing some self-learning and trying to send in some reports. So I think that's the way I got into IT security, and also it is not that long ago, about 2 years.
I was just about to say you're pretty fresh to the game, but that surprises me even more because your success is already really massive. But we'll talk about that later. And on top of that, actually, I saw that you have founded your own company called Flow Security. How did that happen?
Yeah, that's correct. It's fairly new. It's about a month ago. I launched the website and really started doing some work on that company. But the main reason I think is to have some more direct contact with various companies to help them with their security. And I would say it is also nice to test platforms and websites before they start their own bug bounty program, for example. I think the talking, the advice part you can give to a company is also something that interests me. So that's the reason why I started Flow Security. But as I said, it's fairly new. So at the moment, I'm mostly just doing bug bounty hunting.
Right, but the focus of your own company is going to be more on penetration testing, if I got this right.
Yes, correct. Yeah, that will be the main part.
Cool, really nice. So you just said you basically heard about bug bounty the first time in a vlog by Stack, if I got this right. When was it then after that you said, all right, now I really want to try this out by myself? When did you register at like a bug bounty platform and started hacking?
Pretty soon after. I think it was June 2019 or something. I just saw those videos and I did some reading, and most of the time when you read some write-ups, you think, oh, that's fairly easy, or that's a pretty neat bug, but I can understand it, so it shouldn't be that difficult. So I pretty soon registered for Intigriti and HackerOne, I think, and started trying to do some hacking, but then I found out that it's more difficult than you would think at first. So it took some time to get the hang of it. But I think pretty soon after I saw that video, I started doing some reading and trying to do some hacking.
Yeah, but then like in that short time frame up until now, I mean, you really took off. You're in the last 90 days integrity leaderboard, you're like right up there in the top. Like that's insane to me. So it seems to me that you picked up all the skills rather quickly, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's correct. I think the first half year, like almost everyone else, yeah, you don't really find that much. You what you report, there were a couple of not applicable bugs in there, and uh, yeah, I also, when I started, a couple of my first bugs were also like these information disclosure
Yeah.
vulnerabilities, where I thought, yeah, this is some sensitive information, and yeah, eventually they just said like, no, this is intended, and this is nothing special. And looking back at it, I can only laugh at those bugs, because now I know from, yeah, that's nothing special.
Right.
Uh, but after yeah, about half a year, I submitted the bug, and I was pretty sure it was valid and critical. And when it was accepted as a critical bug, it really yeah, intrigued me to keep going. It was like, if I remember correctly, it was an IDAR to take over yeah, all the user accounts. And yeah, when I looked at Wikipedia, this company had like 20 million users, so it was pretty
Wow.
yeah, it's really critical. So that really motivated me to keep going, because I thought such things just exist on the internet, so there might be more, and I have to keep looking. And so after the first half year, which was mainly reporting, yeah, invalid bugs and learning, I started to report more, and also yeah, more and more bugs were accepted. So yeah, I think at the moment I'm pretty good at recognizing patterns. So if I submit one or two bugs, yeah, most of the time when I come across a similar environment, I recognize, oh, maybe I should try this or this. And
Mhm.
at the moment, it really helps, because yeah, finding bugs is getting easier.
Right. Yeah. So you already have this sort of routine that is starting to kick in, and you immediately realize, oh, I know this from place A. Why not trying it over here as well?
Yeah.
Um, let's just reiterate a little bit on the time you spend on bug bounties. How many hours a week do you hunt?
Yeah, I think it depends, and it varies also a lot. I would say on average about 20 hours, I think.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, sometimes when I find a lot of bugs, or when I have a lot of spare time, it can be about 40 hours, because then you just keep going, and yeah, you are motivated to keep going. But also, yeah, sometimes I'm busy with studying, or yeah, I don't really feel like it, or haven't found a lot. Then I don't push myself to keep going or something. I just yeah, I just do some less hacking, and then it will be maybe only 10 or 5 hours a week. But on average, I think yeah, 20 hours
That
is about it.
that is quite a lot though, but it explains, I guess, to some extent why you are so successful. And I've touched it before. I mean, you climbing the ladder so fast, like almost like faster than anyone else on the Integrity platform. Speaking of the Integrity platform a little bit, um, and your success over there. What do you think were the important parts of your success? I mean, you were saying it all started with this video by Stack, and you read some write ups, but like, how did this all come together? Were there like any resources, tools, mentoring going on? Like, tell me a little bit about it.
Uh, yeah, I think most of it was self learning. But yeah, because but of course the self learning was all write ups from yeah, cool people who write down how they found their bugs, and
Right.
uh, yeah, also some videos about how certain things work. But yeah, it was just a combination of a lot of things. But for me, the most important part was doing and trying, and just fail a lot of times, and eventually you get the hang of it. So for me, that was pretty important. And yeah, for the how I climbed the ladder at Intigriti was also when I started, I did some hacking on Intigriti, but then I didn't really look at a lot of programs anymore. And it was about 3 months ago I saw a program coming by, and I thought, just why not give it a shot? And as soon as I reported like $2 or $3, they were all accepted, and I was climbing a couple of places on the leaderboard, and that really motivated me to keep going. So then I also got a private invite and of a new program, so that also really helps. And I immediately started doing some hacking, and
it's the spiral, right? Like you only have to find like 2, 3, 4 findings, and suddenly you get all those private invites, and it keeps going from there. So the start is hard, but then like once you get a hang of it, there's like a nice path waiting for you.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Is there anything you really like about the Intigriti platform that you haven't seen anywhere else?
I think the speed of the people in the support team, or the fast responses of the triads team are pretty outstanding. Because most of the time, and also the companies that are part of the Intigriti platform are also responding fast most of the time. So I think that's cool, because I had a lot of times that within 2 days the report was triaged and already paid. So
right.
That's awesome. And also when I have a question because some credentials don't work or something else, you just want to start hacking. So if you send a message to one of the support members, then it is awesome that you get a response within minutes, and you can start going with hacking again.
Cool. Yeah, I'll pass this along to our folks. So looking at all the success that you've had, and it's been quite a lot, I would say, up until today. And what has been the biggest surprise to you that has happened to you because of your success in bug bounties?
That's a good question. I don't know if there are a lot of things that since it is just a small time span, I think
right.
There are not that much surprising things, but probably this interview, or tomorrow I give a presentation at the company in the Netherlands. Those things that you are being recognized, and you can talk about things you like to do. I think that's pretty cool and a bit surprising for me.
All right, that's great to hear. I want to talk to you a little bit about the bug bounty scene. So we all know that there's good things and there's bad things, but on top of your head right now, if there's one thing you could change about the whole bug bounty scene, what would it be?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe I would just give the hackers the ability to give feedback to the programs directly, so they can also improve their program, because sometimes there's just there's the big gap between the hackers and the programs. So I think it's a good idea for the programs to try to close that gap. And sometimes you also get like a survey which you can fill in, but most of the time these questions are of course made by the program owners. And maybe it's also good to give the hackers the ability to give direct feedback, so the program can improve. But that's about it. I don't really know anything else at the moment.
No, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, it's a good feature request, I guess, and I can just take this to the team. Where do you see the bug bounty scene in general within like the next 5 years?
Yeah, I think more programs will start, so more companies will run a bug bounty program. I also think the amount of hackers will increase, especially if you take a look at the news last couple of months. That
It's
so much
cybersecurity
companies.
all over the place, right?
Yeah,
Like, it's insane.
So I think that also really intrigues people to take a look about what hacking is all about. And I think it will be more difficult for starters to find some bugs because in a couple of years most of the low hanging fruit vulnerabilities will of course automatically be filtered out.
Right.
But there's still of course tons of bugs to find. But I think hackers with a bit of experience will still find all those vulnerabilities. But for starters, it's becoming more difficult, I think.
Okay, interesting perspective. Yeah. So we have to make sure to provide a lot of decent learning material then to make it easier than once again for the starters.
Yeah.
I wanna talk a little bit about your personal hacking structure process. What and how you think actually about bug bounty programs that you find on, for example, Intigriti. So starting with that, like what makes a program attractive to you? You go with a bug bounty brief or with the names, like what are you doing during your selection process?
Yeah, most of the time I immediately take a look at the scope because I like a somewhat bigger scope, or at least a program which has a website with a lot of options, so I can I can do a lot of testing. I also take a look at how fast they respond most of the time, because for me it's also nice if I get a response within a decent time, and not that I have to wait a half a year and almost forget what the report was about. And I don't think that's great. So those two things are my main concerns. And then of course I also look at how much they pay. So if it's a bank and they pay like nothing, then I think I don't know if it's worth it, because there's a lot of work in finding things, and then they don't really reward you
Right.
according to that.
And then banks are usually pretty hardened, right?
Yeah,
So
and
wanna
also
get a
most
little
of the
more
time you
this.
don't even get credentials, so it's all black box testing. So that's also doesn't really make it easier.
And what happens next? So now you have selected whatever, your bank, your e-commerce website. What are you doing after that?
So I read the program policy, and then most of the time I start some tools, just a small script which does some information gathering, some subdomain enumeration, and that kind of stuff. And most of the time I just use that when I started doing my manual hacking. But also sometimes there in the automated part, there also pops up a vulnerability which I can immediately report. That really depends. If it is a new program, that is that happens more than when a program is pretty old, and
Right.
it is mostly only for information. And then most of the time I just do manual hacking, and always keeping my burp suite on, and
Of course.
tweaking with all the HTTP requests, and that's about it. But most of my hacking is all done manually.
What is then, in your opinion, the coolest finding that you've ever found? And obviously, do not name the company, but like just what it was.
Yeah, sure. I think I once found a vulnerability in which it was possible to add unlimited money to your account while only paying 1 cent, for example. So I could change the price I would pay for the money I added to my account, and it was like a cryptocurrency platform. So that was pretty
wow.
a big issue. So Yeah, I think that was one of the coolest finding. But yeah, also which some finding I came across like 2 or 3 times was also that in the response there was just too much data. So when you reset your password, then yeah, I was just amazed that the reset token was already in the response.
Mhm.
So those findings are most of the time how does this ever happen, and how was the developer even able to put this in production? But yeah, sometimes you just get amazed about how certain things work.
Developers are just humans. I mean,
Yeah.
just what it
That
is. What is your absolute tool to hack with then? And you mentioned Burp Suite before, so no Burp Suite for that
yeah.
question.
uh, yeah, I think I don't really have one specific tool, uh, but yeah, with my tool set, most of the time, one of the tools I always get some yeah, interesting information out of is Nuclei. It's
Mhm.
yeah, I think well known at the moment, and for the subdomain enumeration. I use like a Subfinder, Asset Finder, MS, and yeah, a couple of tools to yeah, enumerate the most subdomains as possible. Uh, and also parent spider is sometimes easy to do some manual testing afterwards, because yeah, I can tweak around with those parameters to try and find some bugs.
Yeah, sounds good. How do you react then when you find a vulnerability?
Uh, yeah, when it's a sensitive and critical vulnerability, I'm most of the time really excited, and and then I'm happy for the rest of the day. But also sometimes it is, yeah, when I'm looking for permission issues, yeah, that's most of the time I think the most boring bug. And then yeah, you find something, but you already expected that something was not right, and then while testing, you most of the time repeat the steps you already did a couple of times, but just
Right.
with different settings, and then I'm not really excited, but then it's more yeah, a boring thing you report. Uh, but yeah, when it's critical, or at least an interesting bug that doesn't have to be critical, but then yeah, then I'm just amazed and excited to write a report.
Have you like ever immediately celebrated your success before? I don't know, by going for some nice food in a restaurant, or I don't know what you're into.
No, not really, uh, not really in that way, no. But I might
Should.
should do something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Um, do you have any goals for the next whatever 5 years if it comes to Bug Bounty?
Yeah, I would like to find some more, like everyone else, of course, but some more RCEs and SSRFs. But mostly for me, the reason is that at the moment I don't really have found that much RCEs and SSRFs compared to some other bug categories. Um, and in the end, in the next couple of years, I hope to have saved enough money to buy a house or something. So, but yeah,
From
that
Bug
will
Bounty
take some
money, yeah,
time, I
that would
think.
be super lovely. Yeah. Right. So picture this complete newbie coming up to you right now, and this person is into Bug Bounty for 2 weeks, and he or she is like, "Please, Flo, tell me one big advice. What would it be?"
I would say just start with one bug category, and try to learn all the ins and outs about it, and yeah, then just try to find certain platforms or websites which might contain this bug, and yeah, try all the things you just learned. And I think if you master this particular bug category, you can go on and expand your knowledge to other bugs. But yeah, also don't really do exactly the same thing as you read in a write-up, but mostly
Slightly
just
different.
just taking up all the information and try to give it your own twist, because otherwise, a lot of duplicates will eventually occur. So
Right. Speaking of platforms, though, if you want to try out your skills and you're watching right now, go down to the description section in which I am linking the register link for Intigriti for you. So just sign up, register, be like Flo, and climb the ladder and become our best hacker. All right. Well, I do have a couple of would you rather questions for you. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, let's see.
I start with the first one. Would you rather hack on a program that has been neglected for a very long time, or a program that is brand new but has a lot of people already hacking on it?
From my experience about 2 months ago, I would say a program that has been neglected for a long time, and there are no that much active hackers hacking on that. Because I about 2 or 3 months ago, I also came across a program which hasn't received, or only received 5 reports in the last 3 months or so. And then I found like eight vulnerabilities because they changed so much stuff. So that was that really amazed me. And from now on, I also hack on really old programs.
Yeah, no, that's a really good advice to give over here. Would you rather want to be known for being the king of automation, or for finding the most ridiculous bugs in a manual way?
I would go for the manual way, because it is already more my cup of tea. So
okay,
that is more my thing.
Right, be more like this really insane security researcher rather than having a script running and doing the job here all day.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you rather spend one day as the Intigriti social media manager, or one day as an Intigriti triager?
I think as a triager, because I would like to see how it is on the other end, and how it all works. So I think that would be great. Then I would also understand more about what happens after I hit that submit button. So
actually, now that I think of it, it would be a nice experience and lesson, I guess, because maybe hackers would start to appreciate the work of the triages a little more, because it's actually a hard job.
So, but I think at the moment there's also a lot of people who don't really understand how it works. So everyone can always complain, but it's difficult to know what these people exactly do. So it might be a good thing.
Sweet. Would you rather hack sitting in a submarine somewhere in a massive ocean, or in a zero gravity airplane falling off the sky?
I think in an airplane would be great.
Yeah.
I'm not really I'm not really a swimmer or someone who likes water, so I think an airplane would be cool.
But in a zero gravity one, it would be like all floating, like I guess it would be even hard to press the buttons on the keyboard, I can imagine, because there's no resistance.
That's correct, but you never get trouble with your back, so that might be an advantage.
Exactly. All right, I have one last question for you. Would you rather try to teach hacking to King Willem-Alexander, and for those of you who don't know who that is, that's the king of the Netherlands, where Flo is from, or to Tiesto? And once again, for those who don't know, this is like the most famous DJ ever coming out of the Netherlands.
I think I would like to try to teach Willem-Alexander some hacking, so he can protect his own things, and try to learn how it all works. Chesto would probably easily get a hang of it, because it's more technical, and I think with all the electronic music, I think he would pretty easy understand some certain basic things. But it's an yeah, it's a good thing to also teach our king how it works.
Send him a message. That would be really cool. Send him a message saying, you know what, Willem Alexander, I want to teach you what an idol is. And maybe he responds. Can you imagine if that would actually work? That would be such a great story.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But probably you will get a response from some of this is the employees and I don't think it will ever reach him, but at least I can try.
Yeah, you should. And let me know if it worked. All right, let's wrap this up. Do you have any final stories, words, shout outs, whatever you want to share with our audience?
Yeah, I think now after 2 months of hacking massively on Intigriti, I think it's an awesome platform, and yeah, you should keep going with how you do things right now. So that is cool. And also, yeah, where it all started for me was in Stuck and Nahamsic videos and vlogs about the hacking events. So I would also give them a shout out. But yeah, I think that's about it. I don't really have to say anything else.
Cool. No, that's perfectly fine. All right. Thank you very much for being on the show today. And yeah, I hope I will eventually see you at a live hacking event.
Yeah, I hope to.
Thanks again, Flo, for being on the show with us today. In our next Hacker Heroes episode, we're having a pretty famous person, I would say, on the show, and I'm speaking of John Hammond. So that's one episode you definitely don't want to miss. Make sure to check it out. Let us know in the comments down below who we should interview next. And yeah, apart from that, give this video a like, subscribe in the top right corner, and I will talk to you folks soon.